Tonight, we're diving deep into a speech that really risked everything for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
We are. It's his 1967 address at the Riverside Church, Beyond Vietnam, a time to break silence.
And our mission here is to unpack why he felt he had to make that speech, why he said, "A time comes when silence is betrayal."
It's so crucial because he was moving his focus, beyond just the domestic civil rights struggle, and he knew people would push back.
Oh, absolutely. The first thing his allies asked was, "Why are you talking about the war, Dr. King?"
Aren't you hurting the cause of your people? That was the question.
And for him, that question sort of missed the entire point.
Exactly. For him, the issues were completely connected. His first justification was actually about what was happening right here at home. He called the war an enemy of the poor.
And you can see why. I mean, all the money and energy for the domestic poverty programs just vanished.
It was being eviscerated. That's his word. He said it was like a demonic, destructive suction tube, pulling everything away from American cities and into the war.
And then there's the human cost, which he called a cruel irony.
A deeply cruel irony. You have young black men who can't even sit at the same lunch counter in, say, Southwest Georgia, being sent 8,000 miles away.
To guarantee liberties in Southeast Asia that they haven't found in East Harlem.
Exactly. Dying together for a nation that wouldn't even let them go to the same schools. That contradiction is just staggering.
And that contradiction was really the moral turning point for him, wasn't it?
It was. He'd be in the ghettos trying to tell young men that Molotov cocktails weren't the answer.
And they'd turn it right back on him.
They'd say, well, what about Vietnam? They're pointing out that their own country is using massive violence to get what it wants.
So he realized he couldn't condemn their violence.
Not without first speaking very clearly to and this is his quote, the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today, his own government.
That's an incredible statement to make. It forces him to look beyond America's borders.
It does. It forces him to speak for the voiceless, for the Vietnamese people, and he dives into the history.
A history that's pretty damning.
Oh, yeah. The U.S. refused to recognize Vietnam's independence back in 1945. This is after their leader, Ho Chi Minh, literally quoted the American Declaration of Independence.
Wait, he quoted our own declaration?
Yeah.
And the U.S. still sided with the French to recolonize them.
Sided with them and paid for it. 80% of the French war costs. So you can see why the Vietnamese peasants saw Americans as strange liberators.
Strange is an understatement. They're supporting dictators like Diem. They're poisoning water, killing 1 million acres of crops.
And King cited this awful statistic that for every one injury caused by the so-called Viet Cong, American firepower was causing 20 casualties.
So, of course, the National Liberation Front and Hanoi didn't trust the U.S.
Their mistrust was completely rational. They saw the U.S. as the ones who broke the 1954 Geneva Agreements in the first place, preventing the very elections that would have unified their country.
So all of this, the violence, the hypocrisy, for King, it pointed to a much bigger problem back home.
Mm-hmm.
Vietnam wasn't the disease.
No, it was a symptom of what he called a deeper malady in the American spirit.
The giant triplets.
Racism, materialism, and militarism. And he saw them as all interconnected. You can't solve one without tackling the others.
So what's the solution?
A radical revolution of values.
Yeah.
He said America had to shift from being a thing-oriented society to a person-oriented one.
Meaning we have to stop seeing profit motives and property rights as more important than actual people.
That's the core of it. He believed that until that shift happens, you can never conquer those triplets.
And he did propose some immediate first steps, concrete things.
5 of them, yeah. Things like ending all bombing, declaring a unilateral ceasefire, and accepting the NLF had to be part of any future government in Vietnam.
But the final thought he leaves us with, the really provocative one, goes even deeper than policy.
It does, and this is the challenge for all of us listening today. He argued that the only way to save America's soul is to develop an overriding loyalty to mankind as a whole.
A loyalty that's ecumenical, not sectional.
Right. A global brotherhood that has to come before our own nation's self-defined goals. So the question he leaves for you is, are we still trapped by those giant triplets? And can we ever truly develop a loyalty that's bigger than our own flag?